Welcome to Actors Are Born, the podcast that takes you on a journey to discover the lives and careers of cinema's most iconic and unique performers. This actor is in a category all his own, a man who has transformed excess into an art form, and whose career is a roller coaster of stratospheric successes, bizarre choices, and a recent acclaimed renaissance. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about Nicolas Cage. When you think of Nicolas Cage, it's hard not to be swept up in a whirlwind of images. His desperate face in Leaving Las Vegas, the action hero with wind-blown hair in Con Air, the crazed look in Face Off, or the melancholy truffle hunter in Pig. But who is Nicolas Cage really? To understand, we must take a step back to his real name, Nicolas Kim Coppola. As the nephew of the legendary director Francis Ford Coppola, Nicolas could have easily used his family name to pave his way in Hollywood. Instead, from the very beginning, he felt the need to prove his own worth, to stand on his own 2 feet. To escape the imposing shadow of his uncle and accusations of nepotism, he decided to change his name, drawing inspiration from the Marvel superhero Luke Cage and the avant-garde composer John Cage. It was a choice that already hinted at his nonconformist nature. His early roles in the 1980s immediately established him as a talent to watch. From Rumblefish, directed by his uncle, to Alan Parker's Birdie, to the romantic comedy Moonstruck alongside Cher, which earned him a Golden Globe nomination. But it was with David Lynch's Wild at Heart, which won the Palme d'Or at Cannes in 1990, that his over-the-top, almost expressionistic acting style began to take shape. The definitive consecration came in 1995 with Mike Figgis's Leaving Las Vegas. His portrayal of Ben Sanderson, an alcoholic screenwriter who decides to drink himself to death in Las Vegas, is a masterpiece of vulnerability and self-destruction. The role earned him the Academy Award for Best Actor and a Golden Globe. It seemed to be the start of a prestigious career in art house cinema, but Cage, once again, surprised everyone. From the mid-1990s, Nicolas Cage reinvented himself as an unlikely action hero. He became one of the highest-paid actors in Hollywood, stringing together a series of commercial hits that defined an era. Think of The Rock, where he plays an FBI chemical weapons expert, Con Air, as a former Army Ranger wrongly convicted, and especially John Woo's Face Off. In this iconic film, his identity swap with John Travolta allowed him to explore the 2 extremes of his acting range, the tormented hero and the psychopathic villain, giving us moments of pure and unforgettable acting madness. It was during this period that the Cage Rage phenomenon was born, his tendency for explosive, almost operatic performances. But behind the excess, there is a method. Cage himself has called his style nouveau shamanic, an attempt to tap into primordial energies and use acting as a kind of trance to reach a deeper truth of the character. Meanwhile, his private life was no less eccentric than his characters. He became famous for his extravagant spending, castles in Europe, private islands, a dinosaur skull, which he later had to return, and even a pyramid-shaped tomb in New Orleans. This larger-than-life lifestyle, combined with financial problems, led him to accept a huge number of films, many of them direct-to-video and of questionable quality. For nearly a decade, it seemed that Nicolas Cage's great talent had been lost in a sea of mediocre productions. The Cage Rage had become a parody of itself, an internet meme. But, like any great hero from his films, just when all seemed lost, the Renaissance arrived. Films like Mandy, 2018, a psychedelic and visionary horror, and especially Pig, 2021, showed the world that Cage was not finished. In Pig, his subdued, intense, and poignant performance as a former chef searching for his stolen truffle pig
earned him unanimous critical acclaim, reminding everyone of the depth and sensitivity he is capable of. The circle was ideally closed with The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, 2022, a film in which he plays a fictionalized and self-deprecating version of himself, a Nicolas Cage on the decline who agrees to attend a billionaire's party. It is a work that celebrates his career, poking fun at his excesses while affectionately paying homage to his total dedication to the art of acting. Nicolas Cage is not just an actor, he is a performer, an artist who has always refused labels, who has risked everything, who has fallen and risen stronger than before. His career teaches us that there is no one way to be an actor, and that sometimes the line between genius and madness is very thin. Whether you love him or criticize him, one thing is certain. When Nicolas Cage is on the screen, it is impossible to look away, because some actors, perhaps, are born to be exactly this: unpredictable, unforgettable, unique. Actors Are Born will return with a new portrait. Thank you for listening.